Katie and I have come out to sit under the trees for a few minutes and take a little break. Katie's been working hard, and I've been working hard today too, so it's nice just to sit out here for a few minutes in the shade. We've been moaning about how cold it is and how the wind won't quit blowing, and it's just like in 2 days summer has arrived.
Oh yeah.
So it's hot out in the sun. I think yesterday was in the 80s, and I'm sure today is
it's
too.
80 today, yeah.
Yeah. So there is still a little bit of a breeze. I can see the trees floating around. But it feels good to sit out here in the shade for a few minutes and kind of take a breath.
It is nice. I like the shade.
So we wanted to take this opportunity to kind of do a little update and talk to you about a few things, especially the cookbook. So the cookbook is done wonderful and it's sold out, but I'm expecting copies any day. I was hoping they'd be here today. Maybe they'll be here tomorrow.
Wait, which copies?
Boxes of them.
How many boxes?
Oh, did you get boxes today?
They're down there.
Are they?
They're here. They got here yesterday.
Who? Well, you didn't tell me. Oh my gosh.
Oh no!
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, really. They got here yesterday. So
here's funny.
This is an update in real time.
Okay.
For you learn in real time. The UPS man dropped them off yesterday, and I moved them into the basement and put them with the other ones, which is probably where the other ones were, which is probably why you never even noticed them.
Well, I don't even think I've been in the basement, to tell the truth. I was gone most of the day yesterday with Miss Cindy, so that's why.
They're down there.
Okay. Was it a lot of boxes?
I think there was about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that many, but they're
Okay.
down there. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. So, by the time this comes out, there'll probably be cookbooks on Etsy. You're sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I picked every one of them up, and the UPS man guy had to put it on a hand truck, and he looked real happy about it.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure he was.
I'm sure.
Okay, well, okay, that's kind of changes my announcements, doesn't
I'm
it?
glad I told you.
So if you look in the description below, there'll be a link to my Etsy shop, Blind Pig and the Acorn Etsy shop, and the books will be listed in there for you to buy them. And you can buy them through Etsy no matter where you live, even outside the country. Now, if you don't do Etsy, you don't do any kind of online shopping at all, and you just kind of don't do, it's not how you roll, as they say, you can email me at tipperpressley@gmail.com, and I'll give you information about if you need to pay a different way. But that's exciting news. I was worried about it, Katie. It's okay though. Our life has just been turned upside down, so I'm not upset about it. I can see why Katie forgot. I've about forgot what my name is. So
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I somehow thought that. I don't know why I thought you would automatically know since you weren't here and I'm the one that brought them in and stacked them up. I'm not sure
okay.
why I just thought she'll know.
The good news is they're there. So look in the Etsy shop if you would like to pick up a cookbook. And if you want me to sign it, there's a place on Etsy. It's right when you click the little put in cart, it's right above that says personalization. So if you want me to sign it, just put yes or whatever if there's something special you want me to say. And you can also message me on Etsy when you buy. There's an opportunity to leave a little message. You can do it that way too. So let me know if you want me to sign it, because if you don't say anything, I'm not going to sign it because I figure that you don't want me to. So make sure that if you want me to, that you put it in there.
Be aware.
Be aware, yeah. The book is also available though at bookstores across the country, at the Mast General stores. They were getting their shipments this week too, so hopefully it would be there. And speaking of Mast General stores, I wanted to go over my book signing events that are coming up. Last weekend, Katie and Corey and I went to Waynesville, North Carolina with Jim to that Mast General store. We had the best day.
It was a good day.
Met so many wonderful people. I wish we could have just sit and talked all day long. We didn't have time to do that, but it was so rewarding, wasn't it, Katie? And so gratifying and just so wonderful to put a face to the comments, to people that we've been communicating with. So it was just wonderful. So the next one is this coming weekend. It's May 13th from 10 until 1 p.m. and that's in Hendersonville, North Carolina, at that Mast General store. I've never been there before. So it'll be my first time going. At that one, it's only going to be me and Katie. Jim's granddaughter is graduating from college that day, and then Corey's brother-in-law is graduating from law school that day. So it will only be me and Katie, but we'll man it, won't we?
I'll be really nice.
Yeah, we'll be. So we would love to meet you. May 13th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Hendersonville, North Carolina, Mast General Store.
That's right.
The next one that we'll have is not until we have a week off, and then May 27th. May 27th, we'll be in Knoxville, Tennessee at that Mast General Store, and that's from 11 till 2. I'll put all these dates in the description below, so it'll be easier for you to kind of go back and reference them instead of going through this video. June 10th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're going to be in Roanoke, Virginia. Very exciting. I hope that me and Corey and Katie will all be at that one, and I think we'll all be at Knoxville. Will you be able to go to Knoxville?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And then I know we're all going to try to do these other two. June 17th, it's going to be a busy day. We're going to do two. The first one is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's in Boone, North Carolina at the Mast General Store. Later that day, from 3 until 6, we're going to be at Sugar Grove, North Carolina at that Mast General Store. So that's going to be exciting time.
I'm not sure if I know where Sugar Grove's at.
I don't know, but I'm thinking it's near Boone.
Yeah, I guess it'll have to be near Boone. I know where Boone's at.
The people that scheduled this surely knew how long it would take us to get to both. I've never been to Boone, so it'll be a first for me.
I don't think I've ever been.
So then we have June 1st, we're going to be in Bryson City, Swain County, North Carolina, Bryson City, North Carolina. We're going to be at 6:30 p.m. at the Swain County Genealogical and Historical Society. And that one will be, we can talk and sign books, and we'll have books for sale, Jim and I, but we're also going to do kind of like a little talk or a little presentation, so it'll be a little bit different. And then July 1st at 3 p.m. in Sylva, North Carolina, we're going to be at City Lights Bookstore. And I think at that one we're also going to do a little talking, but we'll also be signing books and talking to whoever comes out to see us. And we were just so thrilled with everyone that come to Waynesville, and I hope that trend continues, because it's so wonderful and fun meeting all of you. So I guess that's the cookbook information. Oh, and I also wanted to say, if you have mailed me, like mailed payment, some people that that don't do online shopping, all of those books as of today have been shipped out also. They're on the way. Now, if I got your letter in the mail, if it's sitting in my mailbox today, I've not mailed those, but everything up until today we're caught up, and those books are also on the way. So even though we were out of books, we had saved some to make sure all those people got the books they ordered. So they're gone and on the way. And thank you to everybody that's made the book such a success. We are so honored, and me and Jim both are just pleased as punch. Happy as a dead pig in the sunshine. Is that one of the sayings?
Gosh,
one of the old sayings?
Wow.
I know. I don't know how happy that is, though. I shouldn't have used that one, because we're way happier than that. But that is one that I hear.
We are happier than that.
I've heard mine. What would you say? Happy as a...
I'd be like happy as a clam.
Happy as a clam. Yeah, I've heard that one before, too.
Happy as a chicken in a kiddie pool full of sand and watermelon. Chickens would love that.
Yeah, they would. Our chickens would, for sure.
They would.
Yeah.
They're pretty goofy.
Yeah.
This one's over here attacking something on the ground. They're strange.
I think why they say that is just really really hard to think about, but about the dead pig, that is one I've heard all my life, because sadly, if a pig is dead and they're in the sunshine, the way that their face turns into a smile.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's creepy, but it's also that they're happy.
The sun does it?
I don't know. It's, I guess, part of the
decomposition process.
I don't know. I sure wish we hadn't went down that rabbit path or that squirrel trail there.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and redirect.
Yeah, redirect. Okay, we'll go back to some better and more exciting things to think about. One of them is, several months ago, I mentioned the Green Prints. I shared a little magazine that I really love, Green Prints. Miss Cindy got me the subscription, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I think it comes 4 times a year. It's all about gardening. Kind of think of Guidepost or Reader's Digest, if you ever read any of those, except all the subject is about gardening. Just heartwarming kind of little stories, funny stories. Some of them are kind of teaching stories, but mostly heartwarming, make you think, make you study on things. Anyway, when I did that video, I guess I told people, if you go get a subscription, please tell them that I sent you. So they reached out to me and they said thank you and all that, but they also said they had a free resource that I could tell my viewers about, and that you could go and download it for free.
Wow.
And it's actually like a butterfly garden kind of plan, where you can figure out how to plan if you want to plant flowers to attract butterflies. It goes over it's flowers and fruits actually, and it kind of goes over what flowers would work best for what kind of soil, for what kind of sunshine. If you're like me and you live on the north side of the mountain and you don't have much sunshine, or if you have a whole lot of sunshine. So it goes over all that, and I think it focuses on 24 plants, 24 flowers, and kind of tells you fun facts about them. And then another good thing about, or wonderful thing about the green prints, is it has beautiful illustrations in it. So in this little resource, there's illustrations of those flowers, and I'm sure they're beautiful. I've not downloaded it, so I don't have it. But I will put that link in the description below too. So if you want that little free resource, you can go get it.
See, that's an update for me. I didn't know that. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then there's another one. Several months ago, a nice lady sent Katie and Corey and I some clothes, and she had started a new business. So you think of t-shirts and sweatshirts and hats and things like that, because it has a, what do you call it, you call them stickers.
A logo?
A logo, yes, her logo on it. So the name of it is City Billy. So kind of City Billy, kind of the premise behind it is, you know, like country hills. You think about the hills and the hillbillies, but mostly she's talking about a real billy goat. That's the logo, is a goat.
They're fun.
Like a goat. And then you know, you think about people that live in cities, but maybe they grew up out in the country and they grew up around livestock, and they love country music. That was another thing, was about the country music and country ways. So basically, in a nutshell, that's kind of it. It's kind of people that live in the city, but they love those country ways and country music and all things country. So it's really cute clothes, isn't it, Katie?
They're darling.
Really
I love them.
Really cute. And her website, though, is citybillyusa.com. citybillyusa.com. And again, I'll put that in the description below, so you can go check her website out and see those cute clothes. And then I think Katie, I'm gonna make Katie talk about what she's been doing, but I think the only other thing that I wanted to talk about was, of course, I wanted to give you a little update on Miss Cindy. So many people have sent prayers, have sent cards. You're so kind, and knowing that all those prayers are going up to the good Lord really has made us feel better about things, made her feel better about things, and information. So many people have shared information with us about, you know, therapies that might work, and different things that worked for their family, and shared family, other kind of experiences, sadly, that your families had to go through that too. We just appreciate all them. We could never thank you enough. It just really has bolstered all of us, really made us feel good. But so the update, though, is that at this time, because the cancer is so extensive, you know, I've shared before, but in case you missed that, it started in her lung. There's tumors in her lungs. It's spread to all of her lymph nodes. It's in her ribs, her pelvis, her spine, her skull, her brain, and likely, I mean, who knows at this point, even it moves fast, even in a week's time, it may be in other places, but for sure we know that. And so it is stage 4, and they didn't give us much hope. If she did all the treatments, she might live 1 year to 3 years. If she did none of the treatments, just a couple of months, you know, but we like to say, but they're not God. They don't know. They don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, but Miss Cindy has decided at this week that she's not going to do any treatments. She's going to see what happens. She's going to try to keep her spirits up, and of course they're going to be assisting us with palliative care, and if it comes to it, eventually hospice. But for now, she's enjoying spending time with us, being at her house and doing the things she loves to do, and we're taking good care of her. Today earlier, right now her and Corey's inside talking and resting on the couch, but I took her and Granny both, and myself. If you can tell, I had a haircut, and we all got her haircut, so we've just been taking good care of her, and that's kind of what she's decided for now. She's not going to or well, not just for now. She's decided she's not going to follow through with any kind of radiation or chemotherapy. So we are, like I said, appreciate all those tips and suggestions and research you shared with us, and we'll be looking at all that and just trying our best to hold her close and spend time together as a family and pray, which is what all of you are doing, and we really, really appreciate that.
We do.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that was one other thing I've got. So in one of my last videos, Corey and Matt and I went on a hike up the creek, which Katie's really jealous about.
I was so mad.
She's out gallivanting. She wasn't mad that we went without her. She was mad. Nick. She was mad that
Nick's house.
That she didn't find what we found with us. That's what she's mad about.
Like I would have found it.
Corey takes all the credit for it, and she should, because that's where she stopped on the side of the road, on the side of the old logging road.
The logging road.
Yeah, to. Because she was doing a video for me, helping me out, and so that's right where she picked to stop, and that's how Matt noticed it. And we walked by it our whole life, my whole life, the girls' whole life, even in Pap's life. Think of all the people that's walked by that and not seen it. It's amazing. When I wrote about it on the Blind Pig and the Acorn, a lot of people said they thought it was kind of, and I felt like that. I'd already been thinking about my people who used to live up in that area and my people who lived here who are now gone. So I was already feeling all kinds of emotion and
in the fields.
In the fields, and then I got that, and it was just like all those people kind of gathered around me and said, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right," you know. Anyway, a lot of people have told me that when I wrote about it on the Blind Pig and the Acorn and the video, they said that was like a meaningful thing. You can think of it in so many different ways, like an encouragement for your garden, an encouragement from those people, loved ones, but also God may be saying, plow through, you know, go ahead, you can do this, you'll get through it. So anyway, tell you all that to say, in that video, I mentioned that the ivy was just now blooming. And I should have elaborated, I didn't even think about confusing people. So in Appalachia is very common for people, for us, like we call what I showed ivy, that is really mountain laurel. We call it ivy. Rhododendron is what we call mountain laurel. So it gets really confusing. But I've done a video about it, and I'll link to that video, so if you're interested in it. I think it might have been John C. Campbell, Katie, that said mountaineers. This would have been way back. When do you remember when he died, Katie? Before 1925, right?
Yeah, it'd probably been along about 1918 or something.
And he loved the people of the southern Appalachian Mountains. That's how the folk school ended up in Brasstown. I mean, he was already passed away by then, but that's how it ended up in the southern Appalachians, right? And but he said mountaineers were notorious for calling things by their wrong names. That was him. But then Papa at Ammons, that watches all our videos, he says, who says it was the wrong name? Maybe we're right and they're wrong.
Maybe.
So there's lots of research you can dig in. And it was really, in dictionaries, old dictionaries, it really was called ivy, the ivy bush. But somewhere along the way, it turned into mountain laurel. But people like my family continue to call it ivy.
At one time I thought about that, and I was like, I wonder what Nick and them, and they call it how we call it.
Ivy and mountain laurel instead of mountain laurel and rhododendron. Yeah. Anyway, so that was why I said ivy, and I should have mentioned it. I mean, mentioned why or explained again. I love to teach about Appalachia, so I should have took that opportunity. Okay, Katie, I think that's it. So I wanted Katie to talk about what she's been doing. Usually this time of the year, even maybe a month or two ago, Katie would have started ramping up for Mother's Day and maybe had like a collection or something.
Yeah.
And this year it just hasn't happened because of all the things we've been doing. Katie and Corey's really pitched in, and I don't know what I would have done without them in the last month and a half. So anyway, that didn't happen, so you can't get none of this stuff before Mother's Day.
No.
You could, if you like to give your mother a gift certificate or give them some money and say, here's, do you do gift certificates?
I think so. I think my shop's open for that.
So you could do it that way, and then they could pick it, go pick whatever they wanted. But I wanted Katie to share some of the stuff that she's got in her shop. In case anybody did need a last-minute Mother's Day present or wanted to give a gift certificate. and then let their mother pick out something. Maybe you could pick it out with them. That might be a nice little thing.
Oh,
yeah, nice, sweet.
Yeah, I've been trying to have some inventory available, just thinking about that. And this time of year, it seems like there's a lot of birthdays, a lot of summer birthdays. So I've tried to have some work made for that. I did add a few made-to-order listings. These little rings, these little stacker rings. I got a few new stamps. I got a trout stamp with the trout on
the
it.
Fish.
And I got a little leaf stamp and a little dog paw. So I don't know if I added the rings for that yet or not, but I know I've got the earrings added for that. So if you want little dog paw earrings or trout earrings, something like that. I've even got some birds, like kind of look like hawks, like flying birds, that I've got stuff stamped on. And I've got a lot of other different kind of earrings that I've made. I really like to do this mixed metal stuff. I really like to put copper and silver together. I've always liked doing that because I think it just, I don't know, I think it's maybe a fun look. I think it's interesting.
Oh, I like the copper. Yeah, I like that, the addition of it.
I have to find some of these. This is how, y'all,
I guess my favorite colors are like the browns, the earth tones, so copper really speaks to me. I mean, I like silver too, but
I like the copper. So like I've got these. I don't know how I'd show the camera.
Well, here, let me put my stuff down. I'll try to hold them up. Ooh, those are pretty.
So those are kind of more of like
Let's see if I can get closer.
That's kind of like more of a mixed metal kind of thing. So
those are pretty.
I like to do that, and I have another pair in here kind of like that. They're right here somewhere.
Where's your little bag? And I'll put these back. Whoops.
I do have another pair similar to that I did. These are long. These are pretty. These are long. Sometimes I get requests for that. Somebody will say, I want earrings and I want long ones.
Yeah.
Do you make long ones?
I like long ones, you know, so.
These are long.
Okay.
And I think you could probably catch fish on that. So if you're somewhere and you don't have a fishing lure, take those off. Put a hook on it.
I hope that's showing up. If it's not, we'll take a picture and put it over top of it. Those are pretty, though. Those are really pretty.
Those were fun. So those are kind of like, you could see that little bottom piece as a feather or a leaf, however you wanted to see it.
And I love the red in them too. Where's your bag of this one?
I do have these as well. I've got some of these, what I call check glass beads, which some of those were glass beads. And the check beads are, they're just a high quality glass.
Ooh, those are like fancy.
I like those.
Those are like,
and they're really durable. So those aren't the tiny kind of glass beads that are going to break.
So you can see
those are pretty tough.
Just try to hold one up with see if you can see the stone. Really pretty.
You could probably run over those and those beads wouldn't break. And then I did a bunch of this style of necklace a long time ago, probably last year, maybe the year before, and I just never did any more with this double hoop kind of
I
style.
Like that. Yeah.
I like the double.
Yeah.
I call that a double hoop. I don't know what else I would call that. I used to do a bunch of.
That's pretty.
Some variation of that.
I love what stone is that one, Katie?
The blue one or the red one?
The blue.
The blue one is a stone, they call that chalcedony. It's a type of agate.
And then what's the red?
Red one is a garnet.
Oh, it's
pretty.
It's a
nice garnet too. It's a faceted garnet.
Pretty. And is yours changed silver too?
Yeah, and they're all, it's all silver, but this chain, I got a hold of some nice chain. I usually buy 200-300 feet at a time, and this is what they call Rolo chain. It's nice.
So Katie solders and forms the silver. She buys it in sheets, not the chain. She doesn't make the chain, but the other part. She forms all those settings and the little loops and all that. So unless you say copper, it's all silver.
Yep.
I mean, other than the stones, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll show you one more. This is, I think, maybe the only key one I've gotten in here right now. I had another one, but I think I sold it. I like to do stuff with keys. I go to antique shops and buy these old keys.
You've probably seen in my videos, I have one long necklace that has a key and some beads on it. Katie made it for me because I love keys too. You just think about, if it's like Katie said, she got it at a flea market or something, you think about who touched it and what door it opened. What is that?
Oh, a moonstone.
That's a pretty moonstone.
I've got some other moonstone stuff in the shop too. Pretty. I love moonstone. That's a little bitty key.
Yeah.
So a little bitty key like this might have went to like a mailbox or a jewelry box
didn't
or
sewing
something like that.
machines have some kind of key? Yeah.
But this is what they call a barrel key. It's hollow. So that probably wouldn't have went for, I don't think that could have been a sewing machine. But I have, in the past, I have had sewing machine keys. And they kind of have a pointed, angled end to them to fit in the sewing machine.
So all that's in your Etsy shop now.
Yeah,
so
all
they can
that's
find
in
it.
there.
And we'll link, of course, put Katie's, it's Stamey Creek Creations on Etsy. Stamey, S-T-A-M-E-Y Creations. Stamey Creek Creations on Etsy, but we'll put the link below.
I will show one more thing. I've made various versions of this over the years. I've made
that's pretty.
different versions. I like flowers, so I like to do stuff with flowers, and then I'll make the petals stones.
Yeah.
So those stones are agates. And
I can't even believe you made that. That's so pretty. And did you texture the?
I did. Yeah,
texture
I did that.
I don't know if that shows up, but behind the flowers, like on the petals, there's texture.
Yeah.
So what are all those stones?
So the blue and the pink is another type of agate, and then the center one, the yellow one, is citrine.
Pretty.
So this takes a while, and these bigger pieces like this is definitely a one of a kind. Like I couldn't do that again, even if I wanted to. I mean,
you could get close, but it wouldn't be
if
the same.
I just had
to.
That's
the thing with handmade things. There's never. I mean, they might look similar, but they're one of a kind because you're doing it with your hands instead of with a machine.
Oh yeah, and it takes a while, and it may be that with a lot of stones, it's like sometimes there's just only one like that, and I could go cut 15 of the same material in the same shape, but I just am not going to replicate that pattern again.
Right.
Nature just doesn't do that.
So you got some rocks. Katie, in addition to being a silversmith, she's a lapidary artist, which means she polishes and cuts rocks, cuts and polishes. The chickens have all run over here. I think they think you're going to feed them some rocks.
I think they do. I think they might see these
And
rocks.
I have some videos that Katie really goes into depth talking about her business, so I'll link to those.
I just only brought a few out here that I actually have. Sometimes I list them in my Etsy shop. Most of the time I sell them on Instagram, and I'm going to sell some this week. But I have, like, this one's been sitting in my shop for a while. This is where I've glued rocks together. They call that intarsia.
I don't know how I'm going to hold this one up.
Where you glue them together?
Maybe.
So those are just 3 different types of rocks that I epoxy together.
So you can see the
cut.
3 little lines.
I just thought that was fun.
Yeah, maybe it's showing up, I hope. That's pretty.
And then I got this little one.
And seamless, just so smooth, you know. It's like, it looks like there should be a little hump there, but they're not, And so that's in your Etsy shop.
Right. And then I've got this one. That's a piece of, I can't remember if I picked that up while I was in Oregon or I got it somewhere else. But that's material from Oregon. It's a plume agate that I cut.
That's pretty. On Katie's trip out west. That's a really pretty one.
And then I have this one. This come out of some rough that I bought from somebody in, I don't know, it seemed like it was Texas. It was somewhere. And I don't know what that is. It's an agate of some sort, but it's got a real funky pattern.
It's pretty too, though. Real pretty.
Exactly sure what you would call it.
I like that it's kind of got the blues and the reds and the, like, then some little white places in it too. Yeah, that's pretty.
I like that. So I mean, I cut and polish all kinds of rocks, and most of these rocks, like, well, everything in my hand here, none of this come out of my creek, but I do, upon request, will cut stuff. Like, we'll go down there and get something if somebody wants something cut or made out of that.
You've probably seen my necklace too. It's a short necklace that I wear that's just a creek rock, and it's one of my, Katie's made me a lot of things, but it's one of my very favorites. And I wore it, I think I wore it. Did I wear it? Am I imagining, or did I wear it Saturday?
You might have. I
think I did. I usually wear it when I'm going to something like where I feel like I want to take a piece of home with me. I want to take a piece of who I am, because it just comes from my creek down here. And it's the same kind of little creek rocks I used to play with as a girl, and then never dreamed I'd have a daughter who's a lapidary artist and knows more about rocks than most geologists.
Well,
yeah.
I need to make some more like that. I had one of the very first ones I made like that. Instead of like taking the rock flat and polishing it like the ones that you've seen, these were little rocks that I found and I set upside down. It's almost like having a little cap over it. Is how I did it, and I left the rock rough.
We'll put a picture of one in here. We can do that, of mine, the one I wear.
The very first one I had, that was a good one, and I ended up giving it to a really sweet lady.
Yeah.
Carolyn, if you're watching this, I love you. So, but there's plenty more where that come from. I just have to go down there because I've got somebody waiting on me right now, wanting me to make one of those.
Do you have a listing for that?
I know I need to
because I think that's something people would enjoy. I would and Katie, when she first developed that what do you call it, prototype or whatever, first made them, that was her, what we all thought was like it's a piece of Appalachia, but then you can also like focus down to a piece of Brasstown, to a piece of Stamey Creek, you know, a piece of the Blue Ridge Mountains, all those things. So
well, and I get a lot of requests. I have lots of different people from all over the place send me rocks. They picked it up somewhere. It comes from a special place, and I'll either set them like that, or I will, if I can cut and polish them, I'll cut and polish them, and then set them like that. You know, set them normally.
I like it because, of course, as I said, it's part of who I am. And same little rocks. I used to like get my little bottles in my room, and at Pap and Granny's, I had them in the window, and I had little rocks and trinkets in it. I always was attracted to those little ones, though, like that in the creek.
I like the little ones.
But I think, I mean, I love all the ones I just showed you that Katie polishes, and that's so pretty. But I like that rawness of those because it's, I don't know, to me it's somehow symbolic of, like right now, if you think about it, that creek's down there rolling. I mean, Katie can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it or not. We can hear it. It's been rolling since I was 5 years old, you know, or more, before that, but I mean since I've been in Wilson Holler. I was probably 4 or 5 years old when we moved here, and it will be when I'm gone. And it's like that strength and steadiness of it somehow. That's what that little stone speaks of to me.
I know what you mean.
Kind of like all the world's going crazy and everything in your life's turned upside down, but the creek's still there and it's still going. I wrote about one time on the Blind Pig and the Acorn, and Katie can identify with this. I said, I hear the call of the creek. It calls to me, but it's at the most inopportune times. It's when I'm lay down at night and I can't get up and go down there. It's when my hands are in cooking supper and the dishes, or you know, years ago when I was changing diapers or whatever. And one time I remember Katie asked me. She says the creek calls to her like that. She said, and she was telling me, and I said, I know, I understand. And she said, well, why did you quit answering it? I don't know if you remember that or not. I said, well, because I got married and I had 2 girls and I got a job and, you know, all the things. I had to quit answering the call of the creek. But it still calls to me sometimes. But when I wear that necklace, then I can take it with me. I take that piece with me. And I typically wear it when I'm going where I need a little bit of, not really, I guess, confidence or comfort, whichever. Confidence and comfort. Yeah.
I wore one all forever, and then I had another one, then I had another one, then I took it off, and they just one by one went in different places.
A lot of times, well, what happens to Katie is she feels that strongly about them too, and she meets up with somebody that's in kind of in need, whether they're in need of, not in need of a necklace, in need of comfort or in need of like solace or something, and Katie takes it off and tells them that they can take it home with them. You've done that. That's how you've lost all yours.
I guess that's where they went.
Or you've given them to somebody that she felt some kind of connection with and felt they needed something, and she give it to them. Not that we don't believe there's magic or power in the rocks, but just that feeling that there is something, emotion in the act of giving something that you love to somebody else. That's the power. Not the rock's not powerful or nothing.
Well, and I always thought, I'm like, I live here. I can do this over and over and over. I can replicate this as many. Now, every rock's the same. It's never going to look, you know, I mean, every rock's not the same. It's never going to look the same is what I'm saying. But the whole feeling of it, as many rocks as in that creek, and as many times I can do it again.
Yeah.
So I just always think, well, I might never meet this person again, and they have this problem, and they're not going to get here to see this creek and feel about how I feel about it. So I better give this one to them, and I can just go get another one anytime I want.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time. I didn't spend a lot of time down at the creek last summer, and I wanted to, but I didn't. And this summer, like it's this heat, you know, that it's a little bit hotter. All I can think about is when I put my feet
calling to you
in the rocks, and like crinkle my toes and like force the rocks between my toes. I don't know.
Into the little sandy parts of the creek. Yeah.
I need to go and go down there because this is the perfect time to get in.
Yeah.
On a day like
before
this.
It gets
snaky
and
grown up.
Yeah. Well, we better head back into what we got to do, but we appreciate you visiting with us. And I did think of a happy thing since my mind had to go to the dead pig in the sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
We're happy as a, what is it, or smiling, that's it, grinning. We're grinning about all the good things, even along with the sad things of Miss Cindy, but like a mule eating sawbriars. That's one.
Well, mules love that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
and then when they're chewing, they're showing their teeth a lot.
Yeah, you could say mule eating cactuses, because when I was in Nevada, you see wild, they call them burros, I'm calling them donkeys. They're wild donkeys everywhere, in the desert, on the side of the road. They're just wild, and they just run around out there, and some of them are in packs. It's not just one. It might be like 15 of them, and you're like, I don't think I should get out.
Maybe wouldn't that be something to see them in Brasstown?
Just a wild bunch of them, yep. They're out there.
Okay. Well, we'll leave all the information we said we would in the description below. As always, we're thankful you dropped by to sit a spell with us and help us as we celebrate Appalachia.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. I hope Corey got my cake out.
Ooh, I forgot about cake. Yeah. It was like the moment I realized, I hope the camera captured that, the moment I was like, oh, there's cake!
Yeah.
Not just any cake, my favorite cake. I kept this whole entire time, I don't know what that is, but that looks like it would hurt like fire if it stung you.
Where at? I don't see
These
it.
little things are crawling.
Oh, I don't
like
think
winged ant things. Oh, here comes a jet.
I hear it, but I don't see it.
It's done gone anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes if that one was low enough to be a military plane, there'll be another one right behind it. And there it comes. Here it comes. Yeah. There it goes. I seen it right through there.
What does it look like?
It was moving. It's hauling the mail.
Dang it, I missed it.
I just got one glimpse through the trees.
Occasionally there'll be three. I'm going to sit here and wait.
Maybe.
One time, not that long ago, I heard that, and then I heard a second one, and right as I come outside and I looked and I thought, I've done missed it, and right as I turned to go in, here come a third one, and I saw the third one.
There's three. I guess he'd have done come if he's going to.
Yeah, I guess either that or he's seriously lagging behind. They really need to find him another flying mate there. Well, dadgummit, that's